Welcome to Bourbon Real Talk. Today we're going to do a real quick review of a new whiskey coming out from Filmland Spirits. These individuals reached out to me, said, hey, we have a new product coming out. Would love for you to give it a try and let your viewers know what you think about it. So here we go. First off, everything about this product is styled in like an old world sci-fi horror action movie kind of a thing, like Swamp Thing kind of a thing going on. Their website describes it like this: for us, producing great whiskey is like making an unforgettable movie. Start with a killer script, gather the best ingredients and craftspeople, and blend them together in just the right way to create something truly unique. They currently have 3 offerings. Their first is called Rise of the Robots, pun intended. It is a 94 proof rye and it is $59.99. The second SKU is Moonlight Mayhem, the 94 proof small batch bourbon that they have, and it is $54.99. And then the third product, the one we're going to review today, is called Moonlight Mayhem, and it is the extended cut because it is 115 proof. They say it is a barrel proof bourbon and it is $79.99. Now let's start off by talking about the packaging. So any movie buff is gonna think this is really, really cool because, I mean, it actually looks like a poster from a movie. And each one of the SKUs has their own plot. It's just an imaginary plot that they've made up that's supposed to represent kind of the experience of drinking the whiskey, I guess. The bottle itself actually depicts imaginary actors that they've made up for this movie, and it gives a little description of what role they play and everything about it. Like even the fonts are what you would expect to see from like an old movie poster. And I have to hand it to them because they have custom glass. Now, I don't know if you've ever noticed when you're looking at a bottle of whiskey, but there are a lot of bottles that use the same glass. It's pretty common, like E.H. Taylor is the same glass as Kentucky Owl. And those are commercially produced. But when you see something like this that has the producer's name in the glass itself, you know that they paid for a custom mold, which is very expensive. And I always respect that. So let's jump into the liquid. The liquid itself is a 21% rye MGP bourbon. It is aged for 4 years and about 9 months. That is not on the label. I did ask them about that. I also asked them another question that was it aged at MGP and did it spend any time in Kentucky? And what they said was it aged at MGP for 4 years and then they aged it in Kentucky for about 9 months. And believe it or not, that's enough to have a big impact on this whiskey. So it's gonna taste very different from other MGP bourbons that are about the same age, because whiskey doesn't age very quick in MGP because of the high humidity, and there's very little temperature variance there because the buildings are brick facade and there's a river that runs alongside it and it's below grade. And so it ages very slowly. You take those barrels out of that environment and put them in Kentucky's heat, and you are gonna see some change even in a 9-month period. I also asked them because the front label says that it is a full proof down here at the bottom, but on the back label it says that it is a barrel proof, and then you see that it's 115 proof even. And if you're an experienced whiskey drinker, you know that typically if it's a barrel proof, it's gonna end with a decimal point. And what I discovered was that there is actually a variance that you're allowed by the TTB on your labeling of 0.3% ABV, which would be 0.6% in proof. And when they got done blending this product, they realized that it was within that variance, and so they just made it an even 115 just to make it easy for spacing and all of that stuff, but still technically a barrel proof. So where's the foolproof come in? Well, I didn't catch it at first, but if you look real close where it says foolproof, it actually has a little, V, like there's something supposed to be in between these two words, and above it, it says moon. So they have started, they've actually registered the trademark Full Moon Proof. It's just a marketing term, it doesn't mean anything. The reason why that's significant is that you're probably not ever gonna see a full proof from MGP, because full proof means barrel entry proof, and since their barrels drop in proof during aging because of the high humidity, you can't bottle them at the same proof that they went into the barrel because it's always lower and there's no way to raise the proof. So let's taste it. When you nose this bourbon, you're gonna notice right away that it smells like MGP. If you're used to drinking MGP, this smells like an MGP bourbon. I get a sweet butterscotch on this and a grape note, and I will say that a lot of people, me included, get a Big League Chew like bubble gum instead of that grapey note, but a lot of people don't. So I don't know if it's a genetic thing. And I'm also getting a little bit of mint or spearmint on this. There's a little bit of a hint of like a bitter peanut, like peanuts that still have the red skins on them. And that's something that is not super uncommon, especially for younger aged MGP. So let's see how it tastes. I'm getting everything that I got on the nose, but there's some extra stuff that's sticking out. There's a sweet corn note, like literally like canned sweet corn that comes out, and I'm guessing that that's something that would probably fade with age. But you know, 4 years in MGP's facility is not a super long time, so there's a little bit of a grainy note. I'm getting some cinnamon that comes across on the palate that I wasn't getting as much on the nose, and especially on the finish, I get like a black peppercorn and a little bit of nutmeg, because 21% rye is pretty high. So some of those spicier rye notes are sticking out, like the cinnamon and the nutmeg. Would I recommend this? That's gonna be a personal decision. So if you know anything about non-distiller producers, there are a lot of other brands that bottle this whiskey. And some of those other brands, you can buy a very similar product for a lower price. So you have to keep that in mind. Now, that having been said, when you buy this bottle, you're probably not just buying it for the whiskey. If you did, you're not gonna be disappointed in the whiskey. But a lot of what you're getting with this is the story that comes behind this bottle and the packaging. And knowing what I know as a non-distiller producer, for them to have, you know, a custom cork, a, you know, tack strip, a necker around the neck, this large label, custom bottle, all that stuff. For the price that they're charging for this, I don't think that they have abnormal markup on this. It's just they're a new producer. They don't have huge economies of scale, and some of their stuff is upscale, and you're gonna have to pay for that if you wanna experience this bottle. If you're into movies, or if you just want a bottle that looks unique and has a great story, I think this one would be a good fit for you. And as I said, you're not gonna be disappointed in the liquid inside the bottle because it's MGP and it's great. So you can buy this product on their website at filmlandspirits.com. They have a shop section, but they got a bunch of information about their brand on there if you want to go check it out. And you can have it shipped directly to your door at all of these states. They're also available at select retailers in California, and sometime this month they'll be available on reservebar.com. So if you're looking for a unique bottle that you want to have on your bar that might be a great conversation piece, you might want to pick one of these up. So as always, if you woke up this morning and you were unsure whether or not anyone loved you, just know that I love you, and I'll see you next time on Bourbon Real Talk.